beautiful. Ooh, carrot.
Wait a minute. Mine wants to order something from this other place.
Fine. And what does it say? But why is it paused?
Take a picture.
I'm still showing the little girl. Wow, this is like really lagging.
Picture with the Arabian horse.
Alright.
One feeding the carrot.
That's okay.
Here. Take pictures of them as they come through.
And that carrot will snap. And that carrot will snap just as easily as your finger.
Live streaming.
Oh, sorry.
I just have it on auto.
Okay. Anybody else? Last chance, picture.
Yep, last chance pictures with Stewie, the Arabian. He's over here in the Pony Corral, sponsored by Miller and Son. So if you want to come take a picture with Stewie, feed him a carrot over here before he goes back, come on over.
This is not on, he's wasting power.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to kick off our classroom here in about 5 minutes. We've got a wonderful series of speakers all focused on the freshman year. Each going to give us some of their best tips and tricks about what's going on right now. If you'd like to join us, it's going to be a couple minutes for each of the speakers. We've got seats set up here if you want to join us. We have 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Thank you.
And take pictures with Stewie and feed him a carrot.
Stewie the Arabian. It's not a very Arabian name. I think his name would be Ahmad or Muhammad.
I would name a horse Girasol. Sunflower. This is my sunflower. This is my favorite flower.
I like the sunflower too.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Radio.com.
Why, hello, madam.
Doing good. How are you?
In fact, I'm going to Cirque Italia this weekend.
Oh, again? Is that back?
No, that was Cirque Museo. Cirque Italia.
Oh, yeah, it's a water wall.
So Stewie is also the USCF 2020 Horse of the Year for Purebred Champion, which is a huge title to get. So Stewie, you're looking at a national champion here for Arabians.
$50.
$50. I get Put you in, baby.
Yep.
Really?
All right, I think Mr. Stewie's about to head back unless anybody else wants to take a picture. He'll be around here in our FEI stabling, sponsored by Clayton Fredericks and Larson Farm as well. So he'll be over here if you guys want to come see him in his stall.
How is the girl? Where is she?
Right there.
Louisa,
Oh my
check the
Lord,
lazy boy chair.
Man, this one right
$400 with a bundle pack.
So now we have the thoroughbred up here in the pony corral. So if you guys are interested to learn about the thoroughbred and this really awesome horse, come on over. We're going to do a quick introduction and then we can take pictures with the thoroughbred.
How long?
Hi, I'm Abby.
He's gonna go on through. I'm like, I'm gonna go through the expo.
Yeah. Just getting him acclimated here to all the people and everything going on. There you go. Good boy. All right. You want to tell us a little bit about him and who he is? So what's his name? Dalps Point is his race name. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about him while he kind of cruises around and gets settled in. So he is a thoroughbred Dark Bay gelding. He is 7 years old. He's had 17 starts on the racetrack. He's won 2 races and was second 5 times, and he's won about $218,000 on the racetrack, which is a pretty high earning racehorse. Yep, and now he's here today. He just retired in August, so that's pretty awesome for a thoroughbred that's just come off the track in August to be here with us today. He is, the breeding, okay, yes. He's a point of entry, and by Hold That Tiger. Yeah, by Hold That Tiger.
Yes.
So, cool bloodline.
Where did they play to Friday? My son-in-law is bringing a horse, but he can
Yeah, now he's starting to settle in a little bit. Good boy.
No, Abby would know, but right now, where's Paul? Oh, Paul's petting the horse. Paul!
Yeah, he's good. He's very good. So once he gets settled down here, we can take some pictures in a few minutes.
If you want to.
But Mr. Duke's Point, what do you call him at the barn? King Kong is his barn name, so he goes by King Kong.
Can you pass me the paper?
And King Kong is ready. He's ready.
Thank you.
He's ready to go. Awesome. Hey, good boy. Yeah. So this is a lot of exposure for these younger horses here. A lot going on behind him in the market and also here on the microphone. He wants to check everything out. It's very unusual for a lot of horses to be in this setting, so. Awesome. Yes. Awesome. While Mr. King Kong's getting settled here, I want to remind everybody that our classroom is starting over here underneath the market. Wes from OBS is going to be talking about some different really cool stuff going on in the industry. I'm sure this guy might have possibly been over at OBS one time in his life. So if you guys are interested in thoroughbreds, we're going to get kicked off over there with our classroom speakers in about 5 minutes. So if you guys want to take pictures of King Kong here in a minute, once he gets chilled out, then we can start taking pictures with him. Okay, so Mr. King Kong's going to come back out in a minute. He's going to take a few minutes to chill out here, and then he'll come back out for pictures. So I think next, in just a minute here, we're going to get started with our Dale's pony afterwards. But King Kong will be back out for photos here in a minute.
Why are all the flags at half mast today?
Yes.
our breeder sales, and he's going to share a little bit of
about 6% of our shop, so we have about 1,200 thoroughbred foals pens here every year. But we're, especially here in Florida, Ocala in particular, because a lot of the foals, thoroughbred foals that are born around the country and around the world, come to Florida to be trained and be sold as they're already so nice all year round. So we're very lucky to have a geographical advantage in that respect, and we have a state-of-the-art track which is specialized to absorb a lot of the rain that is pretty prevalent here in the summertime in Central Florida. So we want to make sure the track is always safe and fast for the horses to showcase their athletic ability. So we're pretty excited to have that as an asset for us. So yeah, Florida is a very special part of the Florida industry in general, which is kind of in America, it's focused up on the East Coast, from New York, New Jersey, Maryland, and down to Florida. So there's a couple of racetracks here. Typically down, Scotia Park, we have a lot of our graduates who go on to run down there. We have a lot of trainers that work at those tracks that can purchase those from us, because we offer a product that's pretty rare in terms of the general population around the world in terms of thoroughbreds. We just have a premier product that is very there's a big sales in Kentucky, but they focus more on the breeding aspect and the foal aspect, whereas we specialize in the two-year-old aspect and the racing aspect. So I'm pretty excited about that. We have American Signer here, Rice, which we're going to talk a little bit more about later on. But yeah, we're excited to have you guys here. Does anyone have any questions about OBS? Yeah. So the question was, are the horses going to be on our sale for a couple of weeks? Were they yearlings on our sale in October? And the answer is yes, some of them did sell with us as yearlings in our October sale in 2020. And they've been broken, retrained to sell as two-year-olds that can actually run and go on the race here on our sale in 2021. So our next event is on March the 16th and 17th. Feel free to check out one of our catalogs here. We've got about 560 horses cataloged for our sale, and we're really excited about that. It's our main bread and butter sale season, so we're really excited to get that kicked off. We have about 5 sales a year, starting in January. It's one of our breeding stock sales where we sell mares and foals and short yearlings. And then our next sale is obviously here in March, where we kick off the two-year sale season, and it's really our premier event because it's the first time that we get to showcase our state-of-the-art track. People come from all over the world to purchase horses from us. We have another sale in April and another one in June. They're all two-year sales, so we, like I said, we sell about 1,500 head, which is a pretty significant aspect of the thoroughbred racing and breeding industry in Florida. So something else we've implemented recently is the online bidding system. Due to the pandemic, we have wanted people to be able to purchase horses however they wanted, so they can bid online from anywhere in the world. So that's been a really popular aspect of the buying industry for us, and a tool that we've enforced to use going forward. So we sell mostly two-year-olds, but we also sell foals, wheelings, brood mares, and just about any other aspect of racing you can imagine. So we're really excited to have it. Does anyone else have any other questions about OBS in general? We're working on. We've got a lot of marketing incentives because there's a lot of competition around the world. So thoroughbred racing isn't just popular in America; it's popular all over the world. I spent some time in Australia, in a similar position down there. Popular in France, England, Ireland, Saudi Arabia, Dubai. So those racing jurisdictions become very competitive with their marketing. So what we try to do is empower them, promote our product, promote our graduates. We had a horse that sold for $1.2 million 2 years ago, win the full-frame turf invitational in the park a couple weeks ago. So that's our goal, is to sell thoroughbreds of the highest caliber to go on to win the biggest races, so we can promote them as our graduates, entice people to come buy horses here with the hopes that their horse is going to go on and win big races, and we get to say that we sold them, so that's kind of our goal. So we're really excited to have graduates going to be successful. So the question was, do we get clients from other countries? The answer is yes. We have clients from all over the world, mainly from Europe, because our product and their racing product are so similar. But we race for a lot more money, and in general, with the thoroughbred races here in America than we do in Europe. So sometimes those European clients will come over here because we have a better racing product, a better breeding product, and there's just more horses for them to purchase. So they'll come over here all the time, inspect almost every horse on the sale, watch the breed show, analyze their athleticism, and then they'll purchase it and go back and race here or Australia or even here in America. So it's a very international, very diverse scene. So we're lucky to be a part of it, and Ocala has a pretty big footprint in the international racing industry. So hoping to keep that going. And our sales on the 16th and 17th here in town. It's open to the public, so feel free to come by. If you guys are in the area tonight, it's pretty exciting. And don't raise your hand too high because it's going to be a really expensive question that we're going to ask people to say. So we're located on just across from the airport here in town on Southwest 16th Avenue. So it's about 10 minutes from here, so it's pretty straight shot. So we're closer to a lot of the farms and on the western side of town, across from the airport. The sales on the 16th and 17th of March, so just a bit weeks away. So we have a lot of fun for flying on the private jets, leaving the airport, come across the street, buy a horse, get right back on the private jet, and then fly back home. It's a pretty unique industry, but we're lucky to be part of it. So does anybody have any other questions about thoroughbreds, racing, sales, OBS in general? Awesome. Thank you guys. This is some examples of sale footage up here behind me. And that's kind of yes. Next Triple Crown winner is the first that's going to be in the ring at OBS in March, so make sure you don't miss it.
You mean the AstroTurf?
We're gonna see if how she does with the sound system here. She is being a very good girl so far. This is Amaya, and again she's a Caballo Pura Raza Española, which is the PRE horse. She's a beautiful Spanish horse, very similar to an Andalusian or Iberian horses, but not the same. So this horse was a choice mount for kings in the day of war and victory because of their exquisite temperament, movement, and beauty. The PRE is brave, quick, and agile for those who seek a strong and sleek steed. And she's absolutely gorgeous. How old is she, Miriam? She just turned 4, and this is a first outing for her.
First time she's being exposed to this environment.
The very first time she's being exposed to anything like this, so this is a great environment for our young horses here today to get some exposure. So the PRE is known for their good temperament and their willingness to work with their human companions, whether being ridden by a professional or a child. This is truly the perfect horse that always offers their best. This mare was actually imported from Spain as a 7-month-old filly. So she got on an airplane when she was very young and flew over here to the States.
I've never seen anyone use a lead like that.
That kind of leather, thin leather.
No, where they're leading it from the top of the nose.
Oh yeah, no, I've not seen that either. You know, I've seen.
So some of the team here with Amaya today, Kayla, who also has a PRE. Kayla's out here in the audience. She is gearing up for the 2021 Tokyo Olympics for South Africa. So it's really cool. We have a very, very awesome athlete here today. You can give us a wave, Kayla. Kayla's looking to go to the 2021 Olympics for her country, South Africa.
Hold on.
Very cool. Anything else would you like to tell us about?
Amaya comes from a very selective breeding. She comes from Jaguara Militar, which means the horses who King Felipe V used for his cavalry to win the kingdom of Spain. the PRE, it was chosen for his brave and beauty and assertive. They will fight for you. They are quick with the ball, gentle with the kids. As you can see,
Lighting is so great. You know, the sun's coming in at us.
I really appreciate everybody being so kind and supporting this event. This is a very educational event for all the Ocala. Yes, because I realize a lot of kids never have the opportunity to touch a horse. So thank you everybody for support the Chamber of Commerce and the Equine engagement. Thank you so much, Krista and Abby and all and everybody who made this event possible.
Thank you, Miriam. Yes, so would you want to just probably hang out on pictures? If people want to kind of line up in the front to take a picture from a distance, we'll give her a little bit of time. How about that? Yes, so what we're going to do is we're going to keep a little bit of a distance because she's very young and she's still getting settled in. So if you guys want to take some pictures, we're going to kind of hang out by this front edge here, just behind the shade. We'll keep Miss Amaya here in the background. There we go.
Stay on the other side or
So if you guys want to come around to the front over here next to the piranha tin and line up, we can take pictures with Miss Amaya over here. If you want to, just right here. So we want to keep very good.
both of you over there?
Hi. She's checking to see if you have any carrots in your bag. So for those of you that are just walking up, Amaya here is a 4-year-old PRE mare. She is from Spain. She flew over here on a plane when she was 7 months old. So this is one of her first big outings like this, and she's handling it great. So if you'd like to take a picture with her, you can come around to the front here by the piranha tent and come over here and take a picture with her.
She's being sponsored by OGS.
And she's sponsored by OGS, Organic Cut Solution. Awesome, so if you guys would like to take a picture with Miss Amaya, you can come on over here and line up. And again, our wonderful pony corral is sponsored today by Miller & Sons. And afterwards, if you have any small kids, they have an awesome kids section over here on the back side. So just watch your toes. She is younger, so she does move around a little bit.
Could you get a picture of me? Sure. Thank you. Come here, you're sponsored.
Check your battery. I think I might have gotten a good shot. All right. Your battery.
Anybody else want to take a picture? What's this? You got your whole crew here.
Oh, it's because my sunglasses. I don't see a thing. I'm impressed.
I love his little mustache here. So this is BB King, the Gypsy Vanner, Dennis and Aaron Thompson. So they, as I hear, were the ones responsible for bringing this breed to the United States. Is that correct? All right, and they're going to tell us a little bit about the Gypsy Breed today.
Actually, it's a Vanner breed. Gypsies are people. Think of American quarter horse. Americans are people. Quarter is their vision. Horse is the species. Gypsies in Great Britain are a nomadic people, and the word gypsy actually is an umbrella term. Gypsy Gold, this farm, is the #1 thing to do for TripAdvisor in Ocala, #3 of visitor favorites in Central Florida with Harry Potter #1, top 10% of activities for TripAdvisor in the world. So if you get a chance, come see us. 4 days a week. Yeah. So the Gypsy Vanner horse was unrecognized as a breed and even unnamed until 1996. My late wife and I stumbled on one horse and learned it belonged to a gypsy. We spent that day in a gypsy camp, and through his invitation became the first Americans to ever attend the oldest gypsy horse fair in the world. And then began a journey to understand gypsies and their horses that lasted 4 years. We traced the original horse's history through 3 countries. Found his mother and father in Wales and his grandparents in Ireland, all raised by gypsies, focused on producing a horse to look like this. The vision was to create a small Shire with more hair on his legs, I'll say more color, and a sweeter head, a more refined head than a draft horse has. This is not a color breed. A lot of the breed is black and white, but some of the most famous sires and dams in the history of the breed are black. This is the first solid color baby born in America, born on my late wife's birthday, hence the BB means birthday boy. Same mother, same father. His mother's name is Shampoo Girl. First horse this group of gypsies ever shampooed. They usually take him to a car wash and power wash. So they shampooed his mother and called her Shampoo Girl. She died last week on our farm. She's 27 years old. One of the greatest producing mares in the history of this breed. Yeah, he's 18 years old now.
Still producing amazing babies.
He was not trained to ride till he was 8. And I personally rode him on a trail ride in 5 days, and I rode him with other horses in 10 days. That's crazy for an 8-year-old breeding stallion. So, golden retriever with hooves, very, very docile, very loving, more people-oriented than any horse breed I've ever been around, and with a flea factor that doesn't seem to be as advanced. So they don't get scared as easy, and they get over it quicker. So nice trail horse, you know. There are several now horses that have gone pre-St. George in dressage. His father, he was ridden by an 87-time United States Dressage Federation champion, gold medalist, and Olympic contender for 2008 in China, Pam Fowler-Grace. Pam called me on the way to the World Equestrian Games in Kentucky. She said he's one of the most extraordinary horses of any breed I've ever ridden in my life. So they can be very talented. They're not just a deadhead, you know. But
Jumping, driving,
yeah.
Western Trail.
Yeah.
Great all around.
Yeah.
Are you guys okay with him taking the pictures?
Oh, sure, of course. Yeah, you can do anything. This guy, I mean, his feather's a little dirty right now, unfortunately. But we had a tour today. We have tours 4 days a week, and we just lucky to be here at all. But let me describe the breed real quick. Short back, heavy hips, broad chest, heavy flat bone. That means flat at the knee. You want his hair to start at the knee in the front, hop in the back, cover the front of the hooves, and you want him to have a more refined head than a draft horse has. So that's really the look of it. It's a body type, not a color breed. So yeah, his hair is called an additive or cumulative gene. It's actually a recessive gene. but also an additive or cumulative gene. So you must breed hair to hair to maintain or increase hair. Gypsies knew that. So they used nothing but hairy-legged horses to make this breed because they wanted a horse with more hair on its legs than any other horse in the world to pull their caravans. The word banner in the English Chamber of Dictionary, you want the horse should do groundwork.
You would want to do groundwork to prepare for something. The vet, the farrier, to ride, to trailer load, okay? Or to learn something for yourself as the human. So you might have a horse that already knows something, and you might do some groundwork to learn about footwork, body position, confidence, yielding, okay? Or you might want to teach the horse something like confidence, yielding, a pattern, or doing a job, okay? So what we're going to look at as we start going over this bare minimum list is recognizing that the horse has 5 body parts: nose, neck, shoulder, ribs, and hip. Okay? Nose, neck, shoulder, ribs, hip. If we can recognize that those 5 body parts need to be able to go in 8 different directions. Okay? Stand still. Check, we're winning that game. Okay? Forwards, backwards, right and left. Up and down, and what do you think number 8 is? Stand still. You're right. It's so important. I put it on my list twice. If a horse is standing still, you're not getting bucked off. If a horse is standing still, you're not getting run over. If a horse is standing still, you're staying out of trouble. Okay? One of the most important things we can teach horses to do is stand still. So if you can get all 5 body parts doing those 8 different directions, at a walk, at a trot, at a canter, at a gallop, and backwards, unless your horse does one of those other gated type things, okay, you got a pretty good handle on that horse, okay, on the ground and in the saddle. So what we're going to look at, look out, is how could we prep a horse for riding by looking at those 8 different directions for that bare minimum list. Do we need to do more than that? What is the and then list? And once we get on, how might we start looking at getting those body parts working for us in all those directions? Okay? So since I kind of got this handheld, I'm going to see if I can't not mess this up and show off a little bit on not having to get a hold of this horse. And I want to look at stand still and stand still under duress, under pressure. Well, right now, this flag is the least amount of pressure in this place. Right? Right? This is the least amount of pressure. But if I got working that flag until maybe he relaxed and started to put that head down, he might show me that he's trying to do something more than just freeze. Okay? Because a horse can stand still and be frozen. Okay? And I'm not talking about let it go. And so if I can teach him some positive behaviors to do while under duress, like put his head down. Notice when we walked in, he had his head down eating grass. What happened when the little white horse walked by? What was that? His head came up, that neck got tight. So, how could we challenge this horse? So I might start talking to that nose, and if I shushed on that nose with this flag, and you started thinking about putting that head down, we're winning. Okay? That's the very opposite of what a horse might feel like if you started slapping him in his face with the flag. Okay? But if I could teach him the opposite, that might start working for us. Okay? Now, if we could do that, that was stand still. How about forwards? And I'm going to do my forwards down and around this fence going sideways. The reason why is this fence is going to help control his forward motion, so he can't just get to rip-roaring around here. And if he could do this sideways till his head went down, you're seeing a theme here, he might be able to show us that he really isn't all that bothered. Okay? He's trying to do a behavior that helps relax horses. Their head down eating grass, stretching out. Okay? So we're going forwards and around this fence. Notice the left front foot and the left hind foot are stepping forward and in front of the right feet. Okay? And if he can go forwards and sideways with his head down and relaxed, this direction, then maybe we'll try the other direction.
I don't like that.
All right, here we go. So there goes the nose and neck. Notice those feet hit forward and around. I get a little feel on this rope and push down to encourage that neck to stretch and relax versus get up in the air and tight. I can also use this flag to help encourage that since we already taught him to stretch at the standstill. Okay? So if we can get cruising around here and have that starting to work for us, good boy. Then maybe we can work on backwards. So we did forward, but we did it laterally to help control. So what if we start driving this nose backwards? There we go. And as we get some rhythm with those feet, sideways, backwards, there we go, is that head and neck. Okay? So now, if I kind of use that head down in everything I'm doing, he can tell me if he's getting tight or not. Okay? So as he put his head down, he gave a little, but he's being honest. Jake, hey Jake, there's a bunch of people watching. I mean, did you see the kettle corn booth? It's big and it's red. So if I can use these things to try to listen to him and understand how he's feeling about life, we can have a conversation and a partnership. So now, let's do a little more exaggerated forward. So we've picked up the pace here to a trot and we're working on a circle. And I want to be able to see a horse walk, trot, and canter on this little 12-foot line. This is a pretty tight space. A horse to be able to do that, right? Notice he's not pulling on the rope. Notice I'm not stuttering. Okay? You're just soft and easy. Push him out there. And if we stop pushing, could he start thinking about coming on back? Maybe we can go the other way. Okay? So if he can start working on a circle, now we can start seeing the quality of the rights and lefts. So we had a little bit of right and left with that sideways that we did. We got a little bit of right and left flexion as he bends around this circle. Notice his nose is not to the outside, worrying about what's going on. He's trying to pay attention, there you go, buddy, to what's going on in the middle here. All right. Now, last but not least, on my bare minimum list, we're going to look at what I like to call horse burpees. Everybody know what a burpee is? Please don't make me do a burpee. Okay? All right. Burpees. You could do a push-up. You could do a sit-up. You could do a mountain climber. You could do a jumping jack. Or you could just do one burpee. Okay? You know, where they jump down and they do a push-up and they jump in the air. One burpee. Okay? So instead of doing 5 other exercises, I just did one burpee to feel that burn. And so the reason I call this horse burpees is we're going to get all the directions in one. So we're going to go from standstill. He's going to tip his nose left. He's going to walk forward and around his left front foot. He tucked his chin up to his chest as he felt that rope get taut and got ready to think about relaxing it down. So we can get all those directions with all the body parts, nose, neck, shoulder, ribs, hip, and that tight little turnaround. Now, a lot of people show this move, but they do it behind the booty, okay? And that's not bad, but the last time I checked, I don't put my reins on their butt when I'm riding them, okay? So if I want this horse to be able to follow around with his nose and control it all the way to the hip, my hands usually might be right up here by the saddle horn. And so if I can have my rein right there and put a little feel, nose, neck, shoulder, ribs, hip. So if he can follow that around there, I might have a shot getting this horse rode. So now we could take this bare minimum list of stand still and relax with your head down, even under duress when we work that flag. We did sideways down the fence with his head down. We did backing with his head down. We did a walk trot. We didn't show you the canter. It's a little tight. I'm not supposed to tear up his grass. Relaxed on that rope. And then we did our horse burpee. Okay? Alright, so let's see what we can maybe do about getting this horse rode. Alrighty, what do we got here? So there's a lot of different things that we can ride horses in. A lot of different headgear, a lot of different styles. So in case you missed it, I like cows, hence the term cowboy. And we got this also.
For a minute to get settled in here, so we're going to give her a little bit of space.
So it's a little more Western style for me, you know, stretchy pants. Although these Wranglers have some nice stretch in them. So this setup here, we're going to ride in this Hackamore. I don't know that I need to put this. It's less about trying to make a point about not riding with a bit. It's a little more about style for me. And so this Hackamore is going to start talking to the outside of his nose before I ever put something in his mouth. He'll start talking to the inside. The softer these Hackamores are, the more lateral flexion you get. The stiffer they are, the more vertical flexion you get.
He was talking and I couldn't hear that. Say that again about
So the softer the Hackamore is, the more lateral flexion you'll get. Okay, notice how this is pretty soft and flexible, but it also is a bit stiff. Okay, so this is a nice in between. The stiffer they are, the more vertical flexion or tuck of that nose that you're going to get. Okay, and so this setup is something that you would usually ride these young horses in, the Hackamore. And sometimes you have to start with a thicker and a heavier one, and it makes it real obvious that when you pick up that rein, like a nice loud doorbell, ding dong, someone's at the door, instead of okay? And we then sensitize them as we go to recognizing a quieter and quieter communication. Let's check the cinch here. Oh, goodness.
But just to make it short, she was a 2022 champion. She won.
And once they get where they can kind of carry these thinner Hackamores, then, again, this is the style. Kind of a Spanish vaquero style, they call it. They start riding them in the spade bit. And that's just something that my style, I like, I'm into. Okay? But you could ride your horse in a snaffle bit, you could ride your horse in a leverage bit, all sorts of different things. For me, the biggest thing is that, are you using that to make them do it? Or are you using it for conversation? All right. See if you can't get them ready to stand still here. All right. So now that we're on, we're going to do a little stand still. Okay, and then we're going to go back to nose, neck, shoulder, ribs, hips, forwards, backwards, right, left, up, down. So could we go somewhere? Just trying to get him to relax a little bit. And so could we just walk and not be in a hurry to be steering? Okay? Everybody wants to get in a hurry to steer and control. And so I do need control, but that's what we just did all that groundwork for. So once I get walking, I want to start thinking about little bits of rights and lefts, ups and downs. And so notice I'm just lifting on this rein, and we're trying to do what I like to call tipping the nose and the neck. Okay? If he wants to stand still, I'm going to rub on him because that's kind of a good deal instead of him getting all excited and running around here. We'll go back to forward, so see that less forwards was a little bit of backwards. Now if I just lift that rein, we got a little bit of right.
Can you move that mic?
Okay. And if I keep lifting on that, watch the left shoulder there start making that turn. But see,
thank you.
I'm not doing any old, look, he's choosing to turn while I pull on the rein. Okay? Notice my legs, I'm not secretly spurring or nothing. I just want him to think right, and if he starts thinking right, pretty quick he might start going right. Attaboy, see, he's kind of offering to do that on his own. That's how we know he's thinking about it versus me making him do it. So now maybe let's tip the nose and neck to the left till maybe he chooses to turn to the left. There we'll release, there, that outside shoulder is choosing to turn. And I just hold it, again, I'm not pulling it, I make him turn. This isn't about making him, it's about asking him, can he want to do it? There. I'm just lifting it, okay? Nice straight arm. I don't know if you were at the gym at 5 a.m. like I was this morning down at Gold's, but that bicep is a pulling muscle. Your back is a pulling muscle versus your triceps, your chest, your shoulders are pushing muscles. If I can keep my arm straight, I'm not pulling on my horse, okay? G and hauling him around. And if I can just lift till he thinks that way, there, he starts choosing to go. And if I can just, we're exaggerating because we've got a bit of a tight space here, but if he can choose to go that way, and then maybe I can have him choose to go the other way, we're going to go from tipping that nose and neck to some serpentines there. Switch. Attaboy. And notice when we started getting those serpentines, he had to bend and move them ribs. What happened when he bent and moved them ribs? He's tight. So if your horse is tight, maybe try getting a few serpentines going. Notice that's a half a turn. Here comes another half a turn. So the next thing that kind of naturally will happen when we start riding these horses, if you kind of let this nose, neck, shoulder, ribs, and hips start following, is there's a half a turn, there's another half a turn. They call that a circle location. You know that? Okay? So if I can go from those serpentines first, get little bits of turn so he doesn't feel picked on, and maybe he'll start offering to not only get bent, but stay bent, and want to walk that circle. Good boy. And then maybe we can go the other way. So now pretty quick, I got the nose, neck, shoulder, ribs, and hip going. Stand still, forwards, backwards. Remember when he stopped, he offered to stop. That was less forwards, that's backwards. Now we're getting rights and lefts. If I just tuck his chin, that's up. There, if I tuck his chin, that's up. Notice as I tuck his chin, and I let that rein out, he starts thinking about taking his nose down. Okay, so that's up. The better you're up, see there it goes down. And I'm not pulling his head down, I'm releasing his head to go down, where he can choose to do that. So now, all of a sudden, I don't need any fancy stuff.
Ford Lincoln. Miller and Son.
Oh.
Couple more horses.
Oh. Sorry. Oh.
But that is not okay.
Super sorry.
Can we put you in the second group of horses? Because you're, it's like everyone's going to be taking your picture a lot. So. Where are we at? I think I'd probably call this the second group.
This one?
Yeah, you go.
Hang on, Dennis, I'm going to have you all lead the second group of horses. Okay.
Ooh! Yeah, we can go
Okay, now you can start the next one. Come in behind here.
Yeah. What is the front or inside? You want more horses?
All the rest of the horses. There we go. All the rest of them.
Bring them on.
And an occasional horse fly. Saw. Now saw.
I'm gonna go walk with him.
Oh, okay, well, that can come right in behind. That will be the new finale.
You want me to slide her past the truck or let her be?
Coming back around.
Yeah. Good job. Yeah, go on past that truck, hon. Thank you so much. Very good. Good job.
I don't want you to be done.
I mean, that's all the horses, right?
Well, but they're coming. Yeah, they're coming down. But I think they're coming.
It was a mini parade.
Turning left.
No, they're gonna go that way and then come back up this way.
Oh.